Happy Wednesday, THL. Welcome to HearthCenter. Thanks for joining us this evening. I am here with LotusKnight as usual. Lotus, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Donde. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good. I don't introduce myself. I am Donde, as you mentioned, and you are LotusKnight, and I'm good. I just spent 30 minutes in line waiting for ice cream at Dairy Queen because my wife wanted ice cream, and that's 2020 for you in a nutshell, I guess. But you know, that's you gotta get the s'mores blizzard, man. It's delicious ice cream. Oh man,
I
I
don't
simply
think I've
subbed.
ever been there.
Icecleaves, do we have a surprise for you later? Thanks for the sub. We'll talk about that in
We'll
a
talk
minute.
about
The flavor of ice cream was s'mores. Is s'mores? It's
it. Ooh,
delicious. Coffee's gross. That's disgusting. Not a good
I love
not a good flavor.
coffee's good for everything.
Oh, I don't like coffee at all. But that's not what we're here for tonight. I'm sure we'll have more hot food takes or cold food takes as the night wears on. But we are here to discuss Pro Series, which, as you can see, down in the bottom right of your screen there, our agenda is to discuss. Why are we're not here for coffee? You're not. You're here to talk about the week one in Pro. We're also going to go over our overreactions, which are things we noticed from week one that we have decided is the truth, regardless of how anyone will say settle down. It's only 1 week. No, these are facts. We have decided these are facts, and we are going to hit you with the hottest takes in that segment here. We're going to go over the most popular lineup, which was the same in all three series, and then just kind of go over that real quick and talk about Pro Week 2 and what we expect to see next week here. So, that being said, are you ready to get into it, Lotus?
Oh, I am. Let's do this.
All right, let's go. Week one had some very surprising results. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know if the first one here is going to be the most surprising, but it's the Washu Mishas over the unknown, 20-7. So this was, max points. So it's a pretty good week for Washu. I definitely was higher on them than most in regards to how I felt they were going to do this season. But did I think they were going to sweep the unknown? No.
and no one did.
Yeah, this is a very impressive result, as you can see there. Straight from the top, ESO Glocta, Valdis, Heat Shock, Agonier, and Lotus, you're a little too loud. I'm sorry. I'm turning you down a little bit. And Ufric. Still not sure if it's Ufric or Ufric. That's all right. Swept across the board, including a sweep of Agonier over Catman 1950. So no Ducharmo this week. Isocles did sub in and did not have a positive time, but that's only week one. So you know, was this surprising to you? I mean, it had to be surprising to you.
So I said this last week. I didn't know anyone from Washumishas other than Heatchalk has had good THL performance and Valdez as well. But that's not enough to know a team. And I think they've shown that they're here. They're a big contender. We can't really look away. So I'm curious to see if they can continue this up. And if they can keep this up week after week, we're going to be scared really soon.
And also, fun fact, I saw that one of them posted this, I think it was Heatshock posted, that WashU is not actually in Washington State or Washington, D.C. I think they said it's Missouri. So it's, dead center of the country and not in the corner. Like we all expected. So they're not Washington University. Well, they are Washington University. St. Louis, yes, there it is. Missouri, indeed. So congratulations to WashU Mishas for a extremely explosive start to a pro team. Don't see that happen very often. So,
Why would you call it? Never mind.
oh man, there are so many. There's like Ohio, University of Miami, Ohio. So like people always think it's University of Miami in Florida, but it's in Ohio. So you have to like clarify that. It's just the U.S. is a messed up place, man. We don't make
Yes.
sense. So match number two is Bad to the Bone versus Aeon. Bad to the Bone, 18-9. So this one was a really strong win for you guys over us. Unfortunately, though, I guess fortunately for us, we did pick up one win. Markshire getting the win over you actually 3-2. But Avi got a
Yeah.
win, Ego got a win, A2 Battleship got a win, and Farron in his rookie season, I believe it's a he rookie season over Fuel. So nobody swept. Aeon still picks up some points, but that's not the championship runner-up defense that you want to start with, especially against a team that struggled pretty hard last season. Lotus, what do you think about this one?
So yeah, I think honestly, Aeon is a pretty good team, but I think Bad to the Bone really pulled up their rosters. Not on myself, I still think I'm a bad choice, but I said Farron is a great player. Being underrated here, Obvious still really good, and he seems to be paying more attention to Hearthstone again. So I think we're contenders. We'll talk about more of. I think we'll be talking a lot about the top matches in our outtakes, but definitely something to look at. And yeah.
Yeah, this is not the way. Like I said, not we wanted to start. Bad to the Bone, like Base said, had a strong start last season, kind of fell off a little bit. So you gotta play every week. So that's like I said, strong start. 18 points, 21 with the bonus, and Aeon 9 is not ideal in the stacked conference here. And another bit of a shocker here: Stay the Blazes home was kind of universally rated a little bit lower than other teams, and for the boys was at least a middle of the pack team for most people in the preseason. And Stay the Blazes home gets a 16-11 win to open the season, including Wengor with a sweep over Triss. But this one much closer. Now we're starting to get into the close matches here, as Tweeg got a win over Dabs. Based took a win over Yoxter in the opposite direction for the boys. Corridon, after we already mentioned Wengor there, Corridon gets a 3-1 win over Nine Eyebrows, and Mata gets a win over Phoenix. So this one was back and forth, a lot of close matches, but that big sweep in the middle, I think, really is what sealed the deal for Stay the Blazes home. Blazes strong.
Yeah, I think it did. I think this team is looking really. It's looking better than I thought. For the boys was a team that all rated as number 9 across all the teams. So it's not a team that's considered super strong. I think they have some chance of getting there if they can get some lucky wins. They're not considered a top tier team by most casters, but being said, tight match or not very tight match, but Say the Blazers home definitely puts itself as a contender.
Yeah, it's always tough when there's a team full of players that we don't really know. At least in regards to THL performance, we have no real info on anyone outside of Tweeg. Tweeg got a win.
Right. And
That's
Tweeg is a good player.
Tweeg is a good player, definitely. So no doubt. Dabs is strong too. So that's a expected close match there. But we just don't know much about Stay the Blazes home. But 2 of their other 4 players got wins. So if Tweeg can keep winning, and we get some contribution out of those other 4, I think they can continue to at least stay, competitive in their matches. So, we'll save the overreactions for the next segment, but an impressive start for them as well, and for the boys, not where they want to be. I think historically, we've seen a little bit of I would say uneven play out of Triss. Like some weeks he just comes out and blasts you, and then other weeks he gets swept. And I don't know. I guess I don't know which Triss you're getting on a week to week basis.
Right. You need to see.
Is that a Tweeg thing? Tweeg likes to bring Zoo? I have to write that down in my notebook here.
I mean, I know it's true for Twos. He's been very high on Zoo as well.
Well, we'll get to Twos in a second here. Actually, you know what? Let's get to Twos right now. They want to skip this match, but we're not going to. Serenity, another team, first week in Pro, gets a win over Taplast, 13-11. Very, very close one here. GCT Turth over Typhoon in the 1 seed, and then 2 subs getting. Well, I don't know if they're not subs. They are not players who are on the actual opening roster for Serenity, but are now going to be permanent players on the team.
Yeah, they're permanent.
Yeah, they're permanent players. So commands are broken. Sorry, Bill. Lawful Dog and CMAC fell in the 2 and the 3 to SCD HRUV. We're gonna go with Scud Hruv. I don't know if that's an actual pronounceable name, but that's what we're gonna go with. In Mycroft 92. The last champ did pick up a big sweep for Taplast over Dork Vader, and Dexter fell 3-1 to Twos, as you just talked about, who also brought Warlock, and I'm guessing by your knowledge of it, Zoo.
Yeah, it's Zoo.
So he went just all out aggro. Well, not aggro. I mean, I guess like Egg Warrior's not aggro, but it can absolutely end games fast. So he went with the less of a control lead lineup, it would look like. And I think he already won this week, so he's 2-0 right now.
Right. I mean, I always say Tuz is an amazing player, so that's no surprise coming from me. But I think Tablas 103 is still a strong team. And yeah, they didn't have a great week against Serenity, but it also goes to show the strength that I think Serenity has and is being underrated just because, again, we have a ton of new players joining this.
Yep. Only 2 players here that I know anything about. One of them won, one of them didn't. So yeah, this is something to watch as the season develops here. Teams that we just don't know, and we'll get a clearer picture as we enter the back half of the season. One team that we do know a ton about is the Beard Boys. We don't. We know enough about Everyday We Trifle. As a team, they are new. The name is new. The players are not. Even Jimmy Shoes is the newest player, and he still had at least a few games under his belt last season. He continues his streak of not losing. So he's 1-0 now this season as he took out Boozosaurus 3-1. Agent PWE swept Lesmos in the 4, but then all 3 of the top results went the Beard Boys' way for a 13-11 win. Inzi continues his run of good play after making the top 8 in the March Madness, April Absurdity, Mayhem tournament because, we've basically crossed 3 months at this point. And Myodon over
Right.
Luharthy, Honest Zabe over your Mumkhead in the 1.
Yeah.
So Everyday We Trifling, I thought this was going to be a powerhouse team. I mean, I say I thought, like, it's week 1. But this is a team that I thought for sure top 4, and Beard Boys, they were consistently top 4 almost every week last season until the very end of the season. And Beard Boys just saying they, what happened at the end of the season was a fluke last season, and we still belong up there.
Yeah, I think Beard Boys is still a really strong team. Booze puts in quite the squad. I mean, Zabe, Anadon, Inzi, Lizamos, and Booze looks like a broken team. So I really think they can come back strong, and they started it. It wasn't a crushing win over Everyday with Triflin, but that's also a good team in everyone's radar. So yeah, I like this result for the Beard Boys, and I think it puts them closer than people are thinking.
Yeah, I think the one of the bigger side plots here to me is little Harthy struggling. He struggled. I keep bringing up the tournament, the March Madness tournament, because it's really the only open list conquest that in this meta that THL's had so far, other than these first weeks of all the 4 series. And Will Harthy got knocked out in the first round of that. He's 0-1 here, so he's struggling a little bit in this meta, and I feel like that's with Hearthstone being a game that shifts so drastically from expansion to expansion meta-wise. I mean, sometimes it doesn't shift as dramatically, but when you nuke a bunch of expansions out of standard, this is what you get. You get players who were comfortable where they were and now don't really know exactly what they're doing in the next expansion or the next next cycle. I think we might see kind of like a new crop of players rise to the top here over the course of the season. That it's not to say that Lil Harthy's going to go like winless or anything, but he's too good to go winless, but might not be as dominant a season as last season.
Right. And I think that happens. A lot of players change, especially there was a big change with not just rotation. Rotation wasn't as big as the introduction of Demon Hunter, which kind of changed the whole meta and the whole way Hearthstone is played. It's a lot less value. Also, a very big thing in rotation is just the loss of Ziliax, which was just a key piece in letting decks go late. And now there's no Ziliax. A lot of decks are just not able to go as late as they wanted to because they just can't reach that late versus Hunter and Demon Hunter.
Yeah, even if it could buy you like 1 or 2 turns just to get to your, big swing turn at the very end, and then just kind of lock out, those more aggressive decks. Not having Ziliax is a big blow to those more, mid-range or even control decks. But yeah, I think as we progress here, people will find better, or not better necessarily. I don't know how you top Ziliax specifically, but we'll find new ways to make these decks more survivable against the early onslaught decks like Demon Hunter. Speaking of which, you can see if you look here, there were three players who didn't bring Demon Hunter this week. So it's kind of impressive.
Right. It is. It's just a
Sorry, there are way
really
more than 3.
strong class. Aggro's kind of free right now. There are lists that are starting to adapt by putting by thinking of Demon Hunter and just putting a ton of taunts. I forget who it was, but some pro player just put on a taunt in Galarogue, a Highlander Galarogue, and did
Oh
really
yeah.
well because that's how you do Demon Hunter. You just hope it was pizza, right? It was pizza, and you just believe that they are not going to get their anti taunt card, and it turns out a lot of times they don't get it.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's something to be said about that. I think in like a conquest setting here, it's tougher to say like, all right, let's just cram all those in there because if you're just focusing on Demon Hunter, there are other decks that will beat you and can more effectively get
Right.
around that type of stuff. And by the way, Demon Hunter does have Kane, which can just plow through any taunt. So not even a foolproof strategy as far as that goes. But sometimes you take the best thing you got, and if that's what it is, that's what it is. But one more match to talk about what happened last week is what is usually the least exciting result in any sport or esport is a tie, was Due Process versus F2L. I'm sure Due Process was very excited about this tie, however, because they were almost universally considered to not have a shot at winning this. They didn't win it, but a tie probably feels pretty good. Whereas F2L title defense, they're now sitting in the middle of the pack compared to, you know, at the top where they want to be. But that's I guess it could have been worse for them. Dr. Bomb D gets a win over Snake. Boolean gets a win over Berserk. And then Rabobson gets the first win for F2L 3-1 over JR Juggerlaw. Itachi fell to Goose. And Liquidox sweeps It's Me, Mike V. So technically, 3 of the matches went to Due Process. 2 of the stronger wins went to F2L. So, yeah, pretty deserved tie here. I would say this is a, you know, it was. I'm sure it was an exciting match to be a part of, going back and forth all the way to the end.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I have to just apologize to JR by thinking his team wasn't ever going to have a chance. It's a surprising tie. I think you could say that some people might have had a bad week. I personally had a very bad week last week with a ton of things happening, and it
Oh,
can
tell me
happen to
about it.
everyone. Yeah, but it's the kind of thing that just it goes to show that even if you're having a dominant performance, you just win THL 2 seasons in a row, you can just fall next season to a team that's not seen as one of the tops yet. And we might be surprised. There's nothing that doesn't say that we're going to have Due Process come back or anything like
Yeah, I think they needed to establish themselves early as a contender, and putting up a tie against the team that just won 2 pro series back to back. I think that at least puts you on people's radar now. People are definitely going to take you seriously and prep for you. So, yeah, Due Process. Shout out to them for getting the tie, and you know, uh, hey, you're in the top half of the standings for now at least. We'll see how that goes the rest of the season. So now we've been pretty tempered here in our reactions to week 1. We're about to
that.
get
Right.
we're about to overreact quite a bit and give some exceedingly hot takes. But before we do that, Lotus, you had a great idea that I want you to introduce to everybody listening.
Right. So the first thing is I want to ask you guys if you've ever heard of Twitch Prime. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can pair with your Twitch account and get a free sub from Twitch Prime. Speaking about subs, we decided to do something new here, a special HearthCenter thing for all subs. We're going to have a special final segment where we talk about the sub's performance for the whole season. So if you sub during the show today, you'll get us to talk about your performance last match and also dig into your performance last season and just talk for a minute about what you did. So we're doing that to Isocles as a surprise since he didn't know this was going on, and he subbed in the beginning of the show. And anyone who does it will have a small talk as a surprise. Hey.
So if you want to be talked about, because I know people come, we come to these shows to hear people talk about our teams and talk about us. Surprise! Let's talk about Isaac loss. uh, but
Yay.
But yeah, you can say save it up, for when you have a good week and you know that we want to talk about you. Just slam the subscribe and you get a guaranteed segment about you. So, little incentive there to to subscribe or resubscribe if you already have. So just something I think was a great idea, Lotus, to help you know increase a little interaction here. Didn't see that one
Yeah,
coming.
and we'll also talk about the other series then, Isocles. Just
Yeah,
I'll
we'll temper
bring
the blame.
your hero.
We're not here to to shame or anything, of course, but
No, not at
yeah,
all.
hooray! We'll talk about your good qualities too, bud. All right, so overreaction. So week one is in the books, and for better or for worse, some people are now feeling like the Hearthstone world is ending. It's tough. It's tough. You get 1 week, and it just feels like you've been waiting the entire off season for this 1 week, and then you get smacked, and it feels bad. Or alternatively, you put all your prep into week one, you did great, and you're riding on cloud nine. So I'm not going to delete your post tonight, Ron. I promise I will delete none of your posts. So this segment here is for us to react knee jerk to what we saw in week one of Pro. So Lotus, I'll let you lead it off because I have thoughts on your first one. I assume you're going in order of
I
what
bet.
you. So go ahead, take it away.
Hot take number one: Aeon's not making top four. Just forget about it. That team's done. Everyone there's bad. Markshire is okay. The others are bad. Just done, done, done. And the other teams are going to be huge and get huge wins against them.
So okay, no. So this is a team that brought back everyone but Typhoon. Typhoon is fantastic, but we got Fuel to replace him. Fuel may not have been playing a lot of Hearthstone, but he is going to be a very, very high quality player for Aeon. He's just going to take a few weeks to get his bearings. I looked gross this past week. None of y'all saw the matches, but they weren't particularly played well on my end. So I'm gonna say that right now. I'm not trying to take anything. I'm not trying to pull anything off of my own performance because it was bad. That's not the norm. Aeon is coming back. Aeon is not out here to finish in the bottom half of this series. We are coming back for the playoffs. I guarantee it. It's going to happen. You can clip it. I don't care. Um, this hot take is just all bark, no bite. Base thinks your take is really hot, by the way.
Hey, you wanted overreactions. Here it
Yeah,
is.
no,
It's the hottest.
that is the hottest take. No, so okay, so all right, so second overreaction. My overreaction, my first one that is. Um, Paladin is unstoppable. I don't know if you guys saw these stats, but Paladin's undefeated. I think it's not getting nearly enough credit. It is not super versatile, but what it does very well, which is Murlocs. Murlocs hit your face. They hit them hard. You put your faith in that light, and you swing at the opponent's face, and you don't care about anything else. I think Paladin needs to be played more. It is a fantastic class, and Uther is sad that you won't put him in your lineup.
So forget Murlocs. That's just bad. If you want the funnest deck to play by far for quite a while in Hearthstone, you have to look no further than Libram Helidon. It's awful. You're never going to win. You're never
Oh
beating
yeah.
Demon Hunter, Warrior, anything. But it's like the most fun thing ever.
Now I'm just saying, like three. I think was it 3-0. Paladin went 3-0 last week. Yeah, that's a world beater right
Yeah.
there. That wins a series by itself. If you can play Paladin every game for that series, you just won 3-0. Boom, Paladin, Diesel.
Going to play Paladin for all games in your series. Make sure Donde is the one judging the Ks, and you'll be fine.
All right, hit us with your second hot take. Your medium hot take.
Okay, here's my second one. And yeah, it's probably my medium one. I'm going to sing again because apparently I like to torture
I didn't
myself.
get
And
this
I'm going
reference,
to.
by the way. I'm going to be honest with you.
You don't listen to Imogen Heap. I mean, all the
No.
millennials are probably not getting me anyways. But I'm going to quote Imogen Heap here and just say, what you say. Oh, that you only meant well. Of course you did. Well, I think Aeon is being kicked out for Wachumishis, and they're just going to watch us say their performance up. They're going to be a scary team. They're in, and just wait for it.
So I hate that you double dipped on Aeon here for your hot takes. We deserve it. We deserve it after week one. But I don't think. I don't know how this one wasn't as hot to me because I think the Washington Mishas looked good and I thought they looked good. Maybe not top four, but yeah, I think they're a strong team. And week
Yeah.
one week one
I
definitely.
definitely would say so.
I did not understand that musical reference. I think they yeah, I think they're strong. So I don't know how hot this one was, but that's all right. I'm gonna flip it in the opposite direction with my second one. Not Aeon. See, you keep talking about Aeon now. It's in my brain. The unknown is done. They are not making the playoffs. They are not a playoff team this season. The conference is too stacked. There are too many good teams, and I just don't think that lineup has what it takes to be a top four. Even Desharmo coming back, Desharmo will come back. I know, Ron. I love you, buddy. I just think that I don't think they're going to finish last or anything, but I don't think that will be a playoff team this season.
I mean, the Sharmo being away is quite a big deal. I think he's just way better than any PR or any metric represents. Just a really solid player. So I don't think I completely agree with this overreaction, but at the same time, I hope it's true. I hope it's just one less competition in the Pro Series, and we just get to move on faster with fewer teams.
Oh man, I do like that. I will say, nice thing. Unknown comes out and supports the show, so we appreciate you guys on that front. So if you could keep doing that after you're basically dead men walking in week 8, that would be great. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm just kidding.
Also, sub and we'll talk good things about you.
All right, Lotus, he's still swinging. Lotus, hit us with your third and final hottest take.
So my and the hottest of all outtakes is that I want to bash the content team now. So I'm taking my third
Yeah,
chance
you're
to
biting
just
the hand that
bash on Donde.
feeds. Biting the hand that feeds.
And I'm going to say that GCT Turth versus Typhoon is probably one of the top 5 non-stream THL matches of the season. And the content team should be ashamed that it wasn't on. I don't even know the time, but
Yeah, that's
we
the
should
thing
all
is
be.
we can't tell people when to play. We can't tell people when to play. How you gonna
No,
bash on content for being like, hey, we'd love to get you on stream? Well, we're playing at like midnight. Well, there's nobody who
I
can
think they were
not
playing
play.
around. I think they were playing around our schedule in
I
Schoolstone, but that doesn't matter. I'm
Okay, so it's
bashing
your own
on you.
fault. You didn't pick them.
Yeah, but at the same time, is it the
Man, just passing the buck, passing the buck. Yes, it would have been a good match to get on stream for sure. They're both great players, and that would have been nice to see. I don't know. I know Typhoon has been on stream multiple times. I don't think GCT Turth has been, at least not for THL. So we'd have to see if he's game for that. But anybody on Serenity is going to be probably a little tougher to get on stream considering the time that they're playing. And so yeah, it'll have to be a Schoolstone match most weeks, I would imagine, for them
yeah?
to be able to be on stream.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're looking to be on stream, we're always looking for matches. Schoolstone is still looking for a match this weekend. You can either just message one of us directly, or you can put it on your forum. The new forum thing is so useful for us.
Yeah, the forum's the best way at this point to, some people have messaged me earlier in the week and said, hey, we'd like to play, X day at Y time, and that's great, and that's still welcome. But other than that, use the stream forum when you're registering your classes or your decks, depending on the series, and we'll take it from there. We'll contact you if you fit the time slots, and we'll get it going. So it's hard to know what matches are. Obviously people don't tend to submit until Wednesday, since you don't have to. So it just means that we won't know the matches at this point of the night until like basically Thursday morning. So yeah, that's the recommended method at this point. But my final hot take, kind of a continuation of my hottest take from last week. I said that Liquid Ox is going to be MVP. He swept week 1. Give him the MVP now. Just give him the MVP.
Heyo.
He's he's going to be the best player in Pro this season. Just let's give him the award. Give him the hardware. I don't think necessarily that means his team is going to be unstoppable, but he's going to have an amazing season. So Liquid Ox MVP. Write it down. Week 1. I said it week 0. I'm saying it week 1. I'm sticking with it. So That might be an overreaction, but I don't care because that's what the segment was all about. Was for us to overreact quite a bit, and I think we did. Having a little fun with the hot takes. No, not meant to be at anyone's expense, obviously, but uh, you know, everyone can't win every week. That's just the way it goes. So why don't we talk about the most popular lineup? And this was the most popular lineup in Legacy, Hero, and Pro. So not in Pro, not necessarily, of course, the exact same decks or deck lists, but the classes as a whole. So I have a little graphic here to show y'all, which I'll pop up on the screen, of the top lineup and its comparison to the second lineup in each series. So Demon Hunter, Hunter, Rogue, and Warrior were the top lineups across all series, and in Legacy in particular, it had 32 instances, and it was 24 ahead of the next highest class lineup. It was a little closer in Hero and Pro. That's just a huge spread. That's a huge spread.
Yeah.
But as you see, it goes down, and as the frequency goes, or as the gap in the frequency goes down, the win rate goes down too. So, looking at Pro, since we're Pro here, it did not have a winning record. It was 6-8. So this is not necessarily meant to say like, oh look, you should be playing this lineup. It's more to say, why is everyone so hot on this lineup when it's not that successful?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to me. Pro has something as well that is Demon Hunter, Hunter, Rogue, Warrior is a very flexible lineup. Because Warrior, yeah, you're most likely egg, but you can also go control. Demon Hunter, your tempo, pretty much. Rogue, your Galacron or Highlander, and you can tech those decks to be fairly effective against quite a few different metas. And Hunter just has like 10 different decks you can play right now. Or not 10, but at very least 3 or 4 options. Quite clear. So I think it just makes it a very strong Legacy Hero lineup. Whereas in Pro, it's a bit more limiting because you need to specify the deck, specifically the Hunter, beforehand.
Yeah, you can't really surprise your opponent going into a Pro series because they see your decks, they see your cards, know exactly what to play around. And I think that actually is a big factor as to why the most common popular lineups don't do so well. Because people are going to game plan, they're going to prep, and they're going to say, like, listen, I expect you to bring maybe like these 4 decks, and I get like 3 of them right. That's more than enough usually to form a strong game plan and practice and know exactly what you need to play around and how to win that series.
Right.
And that you can see in the second lineup there, Demon Hunter, Priest, Rogue, and Warrior had the same problem.
Right.
10 instances of it went 3-7, so it didn't have a great time. And I think as you went further down the list, you saw, the sample size gets to be pretty small, only a couple instances of it, but they all started to win because they were a little bit off the wall lineup wise. So I think that is kind of the key in Pro that people will probably want to focus on is putting like unique twists in the lineup, knowing that even though tech cards specifically will show up in your list, you can still kind of tech your lineup, like the 4 classes that you're bringing, a little bit weirdly, so that way you can not be as targetable as you would be in Legacy or Hero, where you can flex your class or flex the deck you're bringing right up until the moment the match starts.
Right.
So I just found that interesting. I know you did as well. I know you're a big numbers guy. I just thought I thought it was fun to see how everyone's perception of what was going to be, the knockout lineup just didn't seem to get there more often than not. So, not that I played that lineup. I played Paladin. I told you that. That lost too.
Yeah.
Well, Paladin won. Everything else lost.
Yeah. I don't know. Paladin is still not my cup of tea right now. Although, again, if anyone ever wants to jam some Libram Paladin on ladder, I'm game.
Brushy Tuna loves that deck, so go talk to him. I guarantee you'll get a co-op buddy if you talk to Brushy.
Oh, I will. That deck's so much fun.
Well, with that being said, let's move on to our final segment here, which is the Week 2 preview. Well, not our final segment. We're going to talk about our subs after this. If you didn't think we were paying attention to you at Dottie and Base, we got you. We talk about you at the end of the show. So let's talk about Week 2. This is, it was only Week 1. Plenty of time left in the season. and there are plenty of teams and players who are just itching to get back out there and prove that Week 1 was not their true self, myself included.
Right.
And there are your matches. So we're going to start with two of the newest teams in Pro, the Mishas and Stay the Blazes home. So one of these teams has moved to 2-0 after this week, and they're right now they're both two of the top 3 teams in Pro. So Lotus, what do you have happening in this match?
So I think one second. Sorry, my internet is just having a short peak here. I'm just
That's fine.
fixing it.
I can give my opinion while you're getting back online here.
So I'm back. I'm back.
Okay, go for it.
I think this is going to be a tight match. Honestly, we're going to see which of the new teams can actually keep it going. Is Washimisha's actually a watch it team, or is Stay the Blazes home just going to stay out of the way and just had a weird week? Yeah, I did 2 puns. I was awful. But yeah, I think we're going to see what happens here. I'm excited for this match. This looks like the match of the week.
C-Mac wants to know if Tweak Zoo will be banned this week. You can find out because that match is going to be on stream.
Ooh.
Shouting it out. I want to say Friday. No, Saturday. Saturday at 8. So, yep, that one's a stream match. So we're going to take the 1 seed match from the top match in Pro. It's going to be on stream, so that's a good one to watch. So hopefully you won't be mad at the content team for missing out on a great match this week, Lotus.
Yeah.
Now I gotta say, I still feel like Misha's got this one. I believe in the team to start the season, and they swept out week 1, so I have no expectations that they won't have a strong week 2. So I would say, if I had to pick Stay the Blazes, I would say I'll give Tweeg a slight advantage in the 1 seed. That would probably be. I think I'm going to go 4-1 Mishas, with Tweeg getting the only win for Stay the Blazes home. So, moving on. Bad to the Bone versus F2L. F2L trying to get back on track after a tie, week 1. Bad to the Bone beat a reeling Aeon team in week 1. So, what do you think happens here, Lotus?
Well, I might be biased in this match. I'm not sure if I am.
I think you might be.
Yeah, so let's say I'm biased. We have Avi versus Robobson. Great match. Ego versus Liquidox. Great match. A2 Battleship versus Snake. Great match. Farron versus Berserk. Great match. And then I'm probably going to lose to Itachi because I'm awful at Pro. So, given that, I still think Bad to the Bone can get it. And we're working hard. We're going to just try to keep it going and see what happens from there. I think we're going to win 4-1, and I'm going to be the one who loses again.
Well, I like the humility. However, I gotta ask, how many weeks did you sign your contract with Bad to the Bone for? Like, do they have an opt out after you go 0-4 or something, or are you actually like shuffling through your paperwork right now? Or did your internet
I think
just
there's
die?
anything like that.
I was joking. It was a joke. That's okay. Yeah, Bad to the Bone. It's. I mean, they were so great 2 seasons ago. They struggled last season. They definitely came out firing here. Opted out after 0-69. Nice. I don't know. It still seems like F2L's got to be considered, a favorite in most matches until they consistently prove otherwise. Robobson has been just absolutely dominant. Avi's a great player too, but I think I got to give it to Rebob in the 1 seed. Liquidox, he's my MVP pick, so I'm saying top 2 go to F2L right away. Berserk, I don't think he goes anything less than 500 this season, so I think he gets back on track. So I could say that. I mean, that's the thing. I can make a case for anybody in F2L winning, really. I'm going to say it's at least 3-2 F2L, but I can see them easily picking up 4. I would say Snake is probably going to be the weak link in that lineup. if I had to pick a weak link. So Lotus, I do think that Itachi will probably win, but I think you're selling yourself a little bit short. You're gonna go out and get at least a 3-2, I think. Berserk ends as 1 seed for F2L. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily like a bad commentary on Berserk. I think that just speaks volumes of how strong the other players on the team are. And Rabobson and Liquidox would both be right at home in the 1 seed as well. I mean, Itachi too, like Snake too. There's nobody on this team that's not a 1 seed caliber player. So yeah, Berserk would be more than happy to sit in the 4 or 5 seed all season if the team is doing well. But I think F2L takes this one in week 2. Serenity versus Everyday We Triflin. Fun fact: Everyday We Triflin apparently was a play on the Eastern Time Zone (EDT). That was how the name came about. I found out from Skittles. So fun facts, bringing to you. I didn't get it until he told me. So yeah, that's interesting. So we got GCT Turth versus Agent PWE in the 1 seed. Skudhrov not over, playing Jameet Shoes in the 2. Mycroft versus Your Mumka in the 3. Dork Vader versus Lil Harthy in the 4. And Dexter versus Sanguine in the 5. I definitely think Everyday We Trifling gets back on track here this week. I know that they only picked up 2 wins last week, but I could see them picking up at least 3 or 4 here and getting the win over Serenity. Lotus, are you still alive?
I'm back. Sorry.
All right.
I need to pay my internet bills, but
That is important.
I think Everyday We Triflin is going to come back. Yeah, I like Serenity still, but I think they're not good enough to beat Everyday We Triflin. And Skittles teams are always insane, so we're going to see them go again. And by the way, Skittles sent me a note just saying that their team is actually an abbreviation for EDT,
That's what I said.
which is yeah. It's just to remind everyone that EDT is not the same as ET.
Yeah, I just say ET because there's EDT, EST, and it's easier to like be unspecific when people know what you're talking about anyway.
So I don't know what I'm talking about, and I just use whichever one I think of first. And then Skittles is the only one who always corrects me and says, "Do you mean this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yes, I do."
This is
It's
why we were
not.
trying to pioneer the concept of THL Standard Time, which was essentially East Coast time, U.S. East Coast specifically, and then we just say THLST rather than
Yeah, that would make sense.
ES or EDT. So feel free to
Right.
schedule that way. Say, I'd like to play at 7 p.m. THLST. Anyway, a
Yeah.
match as old as time, or at least since last season, the Beard Boys versus the Unknown, two proud pro franchises. With the Unknown struggling out of the gate here, DeSharmo is back. He is the 1 seed, and he is 0-0. That tells you all you need to know right now about what happened in week 1 to that team. But Honest Zabe will be playing him. Mayanadon will be playing Solo Jazz. Inzi playing Ron Mexico. Lesimos versus Catman. And Booza versus Brushy is probably my favorite match conceptually in this, just because
Right.
I love both of these dudes so much.
I mean, they're both awesome. I think, honestly, I really like this match. This is kind of
Seems very even.
This is what I would consider a really pro match. It's just so tight. I think it's super even. The players are quite well matched. It's just a really, really nice match. In my
Yeah, I think looking at Honest Zabe versus DeSharmo, you have two of the best players in THL hands down. DeSharmo obviously is the reigning crossover player. Rod Mexico is the crossover player from 2 seasons ago, so you know the Unknown's got the firepower. However, Inzi has been on fire lately. Do I think that's enough to beat Ron Mexico? I'm going to give this to Ron. In Ron, we trust. I think Ron pulls this win off. I think his consistent track record gives him the benefit of the doubt here. I think he gets the win. I want to say Zabe versus DeSharmo's a 3-2, and I'm going to say I think Zabe takes it. Just because DeSharmo has been a little busy the last few weeks, might not have had as much time to prep and plan and play. So I'm going to give Zabe just a slight edge there. Mayanadon a slight edge. And I'm going to go with Catman and Boozosaurus for my other winners. So I'm going to go 3-2 Beard Boys, but this is going to be like 14-12.
I think I like that score. Honestly, it sounds to me like it will be so tight, and it will be a 14-12 or a 13-11 or something
Yeah,
like that. It's just going to
be
be
close. I just think 14-12 because I think there's going to be a lot of 3-2s. I think there's going to be a lot of
right.
points scored on each side.
Right. I can see that.
So next up, Due Process versus Aeon. So in the proud tradition of being biased for our own teams here, Aeon be sweeping this week.
Yeah, you guys are back.
We're getting it back. We're getting the groove back. I know you don't believe based on your hot takes, but I believe in our team. I think week one was a wake up call. It got us motivated. Our hat has been pouring a lot of focus into streaming lately. He's a very popular personality on Twitch now. I don't know if you know this, but he streams every day, and he has more viewers than us. So that's embarrassing. You guys should be tuning in to us and not necessarily his stream. I'm just kidding. Tune into both. We don't go on at the same time. But Hat has been playing a lot, and I think that losing week one was less of a predictor of how his season's going to go and more of an aberration. So I think he's going to get back on track. Historically, I've had good fortunes against JR Juggerlaw, and I hope that does continue. I know he's been playing pretty strong lately, so I don't want to don't want to take him too lightly. Coles, he's struggled a bit in pro, but he's too good of a player to stay down for long. Fuel, he's going to get right back on that horse. And Markshire is he's new and improved. You see, he made a little bit of a run there in the in the March Madness tourney, so that's why he's at the 1 seed right now for Aeon. So I like Aeon in this. I like it in this one. I don't know if it's necessarily a 23-point week, but I'd like to say that we're going to get at least 17 or 18.
So I underrated Due Process last week, and I don't know if I'm ready to do it again. So I think Dr. Bombed is going to beat Markshire. I think I don't know enough about Boolean to diagnose how he or she plays against our hats. So we'll see there. I think Coles can get the win against Goose. Again, don't know much about Goose, but Coles is usually a pretty good player. I do think you beat JR. I think that would be fair. And I think Fuel can beat Mike V. So it depends on the top three. That being said, we'll see. I think it's going to be closest than people are giving it credit for.
Well, Aeon needs to get back on track. Needs a big win. So hopefully it's not that close. But I expect every pro match this season is probably going to be at least somewhat close. If 7 or 8 points is the lowest losing score or the lowest losing score in a given week, I wouldn't be surprised all season. I don't think there'll be like any shutouts or anything like that. But yeah. So final match for the boys versus Tap Last 1-0 Trey. So we know that Twos has already won. I don't know what the score was specifically, but we know Tap Last is essentially up a match at this point. Base versus the Last Champ is a big game.
Yeah.
I think I got to give the edge to Typhoon in the 3rd seed. Lawful Dog versus Triss. Man, that one's a tough one to call. They both had a rough week 1. I guess I lean slightly towards Lawful. And C-Mac versus Nine Eyebrows.
Choose has beat Made.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Choose has beat Made at 3-1.
Yeah, I didn't know what the exact score was. I just knew that I saw Twos had won. So I think to me that gives Tap Last the edge here, that they need to go over and get this W this week. But yeah, I think Based has what it takes to beat the Last Champ. But I don't know if anybody else in the lineup gets a win this week. I think it might just be 4-1 Tap Last with Base getting the only W for the boys.
Yeah, I think Nine Eyebrows versus C-Mac is also going to be more impressive than people are giving credit for. Also, it's just for the boys versus Tap Last is kind of funny because they all play together. They're all friends, from what I understand, and it's just kind of hilarious that this match is happening this early.
I can't pick against Heal Druid. Well, Bill, apparently I am picking against Heal Druid. We don't know if he's bringing Heal
Yes.
Druid this week.
Well, I was going to say something, but I'm actually not allowed to say it, so I'm not going to say it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If anyone brings Paladin this week, I will immediately switch my pick to you. This is my guarantee.
If you pick Libram Paladin, I'm going to agree. Disagree, but agree.
As long as you play Uther as your avatar, then I'll pick you. None of this Liadrin. And definitely not the
It's
Annoyotron.
just so
I don't know. I still think Tablast has got this one. So those are the picks. So we got a few minutes left. We had 3 subs, and I thank you guys for doing that. And as we said, this is a standing offer every week at this point. So if you do sub, we will talk about you. And Lotus, I know you've been doing some research on Isocles, who was our first subber. So let's talk about Isocles.
let's do it. I was just doing research on the other players at the same time, but
All right.
he's been doing. He had just a great season last time. Did really well in Legacy, and now he's playing. He played this week Pro, Legacy, and Hero, but he's only playing Legacy and Hero full time. He lost again against Volkai in Pro as the Desharmo sub. He beat Yellow Dart 3-2 in Legacy and beat Trippy Toad 3-1 in Hero. So just
against Volkai? I thought it was against Skudrov.
Did I get the wrong one?
I think you got it wrong.
Sorry, against Valdez.
Valdez, sorry.
Sorry.
Different
the names are similar.
So he had a pretty good
Blind.
week.
So that being said, Icicles, I played against him last season in a very crazy match where he kind of foresaw that Quest Druid was going to be big a bit before it and was still missing 1 or 2 cards that brought Quest Druid to be a powerhouse last season. I was not expecting Quest Druid, and it took me a little while to adapt, but I ended up getting a bit lucky and just winning that match because of it. That being said, I think he's strong. His Legacy team won 23 points the first week, so I'm looking forward to see him do big things in this CHL season.
If his last season is any indicator, I think he'll sub quite a few more times throughout the course of the pro season. So I don't think this is going to be his only match in pro. He seems to be like a super sub, and I will say, very nice guy. We casted a couple games for March Madness, and hopefully we'll do so again. And in addition to being a great player, very fun to cast with. So the total package, he's a complete gentleman, we will say. Isocles, thank you so much for subbing and tuning into the show tonight. And I know you already said that you were available next Monday night for our next March Madness match of our hat versus whoever the heck he's playing in the Final Four. So I'll have to check on that. But yes, that is going to be a good one next Monday night. So definitely tune to that. We need a sub to fix Lotus's internet. Yeah, run some more cable down in your area there, because you are roboting out. Our second sub of the evening was Itachi. So Itachi, he lost 2-3 in pro this past week to Goose, and he's playing against Lotus this week. Lotus, are you back?
I'm here now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you again. Lotus, I believe Itachi swept in his other two matches this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. I am a bit scared. Again, not a great pro player. It's going to be fun to see what we'll have together before. It's just, he plans his matches so well. It's going to be a ride.
Itachi's got you so scared you're just roboting right now. I heard what you said.
Sorry about that.
I heard what you said, but yeah, Itachi is a historically strong player. Always a threat to make the finals. All of his teams are always in it all the way to the very end, and he's an all-pro and all-star caliber player. So the 1 week of losses for him does not a bad season make. But Itachi will be back. I did predict, unfortunately, in your case, that he would beat you this week. So Itachi, go ahead and prove me right, please. Not the no, not to hate on
Yeah.
Lotus, but I like to be correct. So our final sub of the evening was Based Inc. Thank you, Based, for the sub. And what research do you have on Based here, Lotus?
Yeah. So
Oh
and
man.
then I'll cut to you, and then I'll come back and finish my research. But Base is just an amazing player. She's been doing amazing things in Schoolstone. I just want to thank for all the work she's been putting in and how much we've done with the show this season. And I think it translates to the series. She had a win in our hero team, so I think it's going to be quite the season for Base.
Yeah, this might be the season of Based playing in at least 3 of the 4 series, if not Wild as well. Just tell me whether I'm right or wrong, Based. You can let me know. But yeah, definitely excited to see where she takes an entire season in all these series. But strong player overall, and a player that any team would be happy to have at their 1 seed, 2 seed, anywhere in pro. Obviously, the seeds don't matter here because you're going to play a 1 seed quality player no matter what seed you're in. But base hangs tight with any of them. Anything else, Lotus? Or did we lose Lotus? We might have lost Lotus. So I'm sure Lotus is saying very nice things, effusive praise about Based right now, in whatever internetless land he has fallen into. So I do apologize for the slight technical difficulties here at the end, as we'll hope to get Based or not Based. We were talking about Based. We'll hope to get Lotus back on you know uh, 21st century internet at some point here in the next couple weeks. But hey, that's the world we live in right now. So thank you guys for all tuning in tonight, and anybody who
Yeah,
checks
thank
out the
you
VOD
all.
as well. Yeah. Oh, hey, Lotus is back. All right. Um,
Yeah, I came back from goodbye. I'm sorry, everyone. It has been kind of crazy here today. It's getting better, but then I need to move location, and it got a little.
that's all right. It's real life happens, and you can't control the internet, so that's okay. Thanks for
Yeah.
being on the show, though. As always, it's very appreciated, and best of luck to
Okay.
everyone playing in pro this upcoming week, and any of the series for that matter. Stay tuned, as we will have Tavern Talk tomorrow night, Thursday, of course, and we're going to have our full slate of matches for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll post those in the Discord once we have those finalized. We are still looking for a few matches here or there, so of course, please do fill out the form if you are interested in playing on stream. Even if you don't know if your opponent's interested in playing on stream, just say that you are, because if you both are, it'll pop up in my list. And if your opponent says no, then it won't pop in my list. There's no harm done there. You just might as well fill it out if you're interested. And if the timing works out, I will reach out to you. So, thank you guys. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Wow, talking is hard. That wasn't the internet.
You
That was
okay?
that was my body just deciding that it was done speaking at that point. Um, so I hope everyone has a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow, and we'll be back again next week, where we'll be talking about week 2, among other things. So have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all later.
Yeah.